Hi again, 8th grade. So I'm just going to go through annotating this article with you, and then it's kind of going to be up to you at this point to fill in the rage graphic organizer since we've done it. This would be our third time. So we're still underlining push factors, what is causing people to leave their home in New Orleans, and identifying them as environmental, economic, social, or environmental, and circling our pull factors. I'm going to bold them because I cannot circle on the computer. This is our third document. It's called White Flight and Desegregation. Desegregation is when schools went from being either all white or all black or segregated into desegregating them and having white and black children going to school together. The desegregation of public schools began a dramatic change in the demographics of New Orleans, as many white residents relocated to suburban areas where a number of schools were still segregated. So the desegregation of public schools is a push factor for white residents, and suburban areas where schools are still segregated is a pull factor. This trend, commonly referred to as white flight, is attributed in part to backlash against the civil rights movement and upwardly mobile black families moving into previously all-white neighborhoods. This is a push factor. The cultural group that we're talking about here, that we're identifying for push and pull factors, are the white families. So while it might seem like a pull factor for the black families would be moving into like different or new neighborhoods, we're going to focus on the white families movement. So this would be a push factor away from where they previously lived. This pattern of white families moving out of cities and into the suburbs was widespread throughout the country. During this time, New Orleans saw an exodus of residents from the lower Ninth Ward, which had previously been inhabited mostly by white and working-class residents. In 1965, Hurricane Betsy wrought severe damage in the lower Ninth Ward, causing even more residents to leave the area. So a hurricane also drove them out. Most settled in St. Bernard Parish, which was perceived by prejudiced white residents to be a more ideal place to raise their children, since their children would not have to attend schools with minorities. There's our pull factor for St. Bernard Parish. The predominantly African American population remaining suffered the devastation of the hurricane. During the period from Hurricane Betsy to Hurricane Katrina, the population of New Orleans dropped by more than 20% as white residents left. By 2000, approximately 90% of the population of the lower Ninth Ward was African American. So we have a couple of push factors, a couple of pull factors. I started off with your restate. So once again, we're writing an essay that's analyzing the cultural group's purpose for migration. And in this case, the cultural group are the white residents of New Orleans. We're going to include both the push and pull factors in their movements. And we're going to compare and contrast the factors. And once again, that's going to really happen in our conclusion paragraph. But if you want to start doing it like we did in the last, right now, by saying, similarly to Katrina, or unlike the Irish, you're more than welcome. Excuse me. So, our restate is white residents in New Orleans migrated away from their neighborhoods because of the desegregation of schools and prejudice. I'm going to go ahead and kind of leave you there. You guys have practiced this multiple times. You want to tell me what are the push factors with two pieces of evidence that are explained, and what are the pull factors for their new neighborhoods with evidence to explain. If you're confused or you have questions, go back and review any of the videos that I made or that Ms. Dodd made to help you go through and kind of understand how to get these filled in correctly. Good luck.